Beehiiv versus Substack, only what you really need to understand.
Alright, so first of all, let me just tell you very quick how this is completely different from all of the other reviews. Basically, vast majority, all of the reviews really tell you all of the different features of the softwares, but they just give you a list and that's it, and at the end you are still confused because you don't really know what actually is the best for your specific needs. Whereas what I try to do with my reviews is I don't tell you about all of the different features, I tell you only specific features that you actually need to know to make a decision. And I tell you what tool is best for your specific case because it's always dependent. So I don't waste your time. I tell you only what you really need to know. I put in a lot of work and effort, me and my team, trying to figure this stuff out. And also I have discounts and bonuses for all of the different tools that I talk about, so check all of the links.
By the way, I created a blueprint for the best business model out there, so check the description.
Okay, so we will start out with some marketing features because when it comes to newsletters, marketing is one of the main priorities. So first of all, we have referral program. So this is within your newsletter, you can have a section that you give out something in exchange for a referral. Let's say like if people refer 3 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 10 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 100 people, you're going to give them something, whether it's some digital freebie, coaching session, some physical good, whatever it is. There's a lot of cases of newsletter softwares growing crazy using this exact thing. So it can be very, very beneficial. So Beehiiv, they already have this integrated within their software, which is amazing. Substack doesn't have this and you can't integrate other tool. Next, super important marketing feature is the recommendation network. And what this means is basically, let's say someone subscribes to your newsletter and then you have this pop-up that shows other newsletters that they might be interested in. So you're kind of exchanging this newsletter subscriber, whatever you want to call it. It can be a very powerful way of growing your list as well, because you don't really need to do anything. You just need to find someone to have these recommendations exchanges with. So Beehiiv has this already integrated with it, which is amazing. Substack has this within the software. So I will have a link for this whole doc and I will keep on updating it and adding some additional information, and I have discounts for all of these tools and bonuses, so check out the description.
By the way, I have made a video comparing all of the best newsletter software, so I will link that below.
Next, let's talk monetization, and first of all, sponsored posts. So these are called different on different platforms, but basically what this means is that within your newsletter, you can ask people to subscribe to other newsletters and you actually get paid for that, usually somewhere between from as little as $1 to as much as maybe $5 if people just subscribe to a different newsletter. So Beehiiv has this already integrated. Substack doesn't have this.
By the way, I have created a document of 50 best growth hacks used by the biggest marketers out there. Check the link below.
Next, we have ad network. This is again part of monetization strategy, and ad network basically just means that the software allows you to find ads automatically being placed on your newsletters, so they save you a lot of time. Do keep in mind that you will need to pay usually 20% fee for that, and even if they don't have ad network, you can go out and find ads yourself, or there are specific tools that allow you to do it, and you'll just pay fees for those tools. I will leave all of the links for all of the additional tools that I mentioned, by the way, as well. Beehiiv has this. They do have an ad network and usually they will pay you per click. Substack doesn't have an ad network, but you can use other tools. The next point for monetization as well is digital products, and this is honestly, you can make a lot of money through sponsored posts and ad network. However, if if you really want to level up to the next level and make a lot of money from your newsletter, then digital products is the way to go. This is where you can really make a lot of money. And I have, by the way, a whole channel dedicated on just building a digital product business. So I will leave all of the links, check that out. So unfortunately with Beehiiv, you actually don't have any way of selling digital products. You don't have that functionality, which is really unfortunate. Substack doesn't have any functionality to sell digital products. Now, the next thing is, again, monetization, and we're talking subscriptions. So technically this is a digital product as well, but I put it separately because this is just one digital product that some softwares allow you, whereas with digital products, there's so many different products that you can be selling. Beehiiv allows you subscriptions within the software. Substack allows you to have paid subscriptions. Now, the next step is design. And when it comes to design, this is basically how exactly you can design your actual newsletter. And also when it comes to your opt-in pages, forms, landing pages, all of those kind of things. So first of all, when it comes to Beehiiv, I will actually give 10 out of 10 to Beehiiv. They have slightly, it's not a huge massive difference, but they have a couple of little design things specifically when it comes to the newsletter that are better, that do stand out and that allow you to do additional stuff. Substack is honestly only 4 out of 10. They really are just very plain and boring, and they have very few tools, so I really don't like the design of Substack newsletters at all. Now, next thing we got is integrations, and why this is important is basically because if you're using other tools, so for example, let's say you are running a store on Shopify, or you're running your website on WordPress, or you just want to use specific tools for your conversions, for running ads, let's say, whatever it really is, you will need to have integrations, especially if you want to build a really big business. So when it comes to Beehiiv and integrations, I actually put 0 out of 10, but they just started doing some integrations. So now technically you can integrate with WordPress and Shopify, but it's still really limited, and it still is not very beneficial. I can't still really use it with my WordPress website. So I would say it's almost basically non-existent, unfortunately. Substack doesn't have any integrations, honestly. It's 0 out of 10. If you'll need any integration, then you're in a bad luck. Now, the next really important thing is automations, and this is important for basically your conversions. So if you are running a business, you are doing certain offers that you are promoting, whether it's digital products, affiliate, whatever it is, you want to set up certain automations that will just help you to make money on autopilot. I can't emphasize how important that is and how much easier it's going to make your life. So when it comes to Beehiiv, unfortunately doesn't have yet many automations. They actually just started implementing automations a couple months ago of me making this. So it's a 5 out of 10 because they have some of the basic ones that you will need, but they don't have more advanced features like, for example, A/B testing within the automations, and they are lacking certain triggers and things like that. Substack doesn't have any automations, so it's completely 0 out of 10. Next, we have user experience, and one of the things is the ease of use, how easy, just how simple it is to use the software. Beehiiv has done a great work. It's very easy to use the software. I will give them a 9 out of 10. It's very straightforward. They also have a lot of different tutorials how to do it. Substack, well, it's just very basic software. So honestly, the ease of use is a 9 out of 10 because you have so very few features to really work with. So when it comes to pricing, I will say that when it comes to Substack doesn't really have like a pricing page per se. They only have this page here where they show you that what they charge is just 10% for each transaction. So it's free to start out with. You can run your newsletter for free. However, you will pay 10%. So that can add up quite a lot. If you're making $1,000, which is, not that much, you're going to be paying $100. So when you compare it to all of the other newsletter softwares, it really is the most expensive actually. So when it comes to Beehiiv pricing, there's a couple of things here you need to understand. So first of all, they have a completely free plan for $0 up to 2,500 subscribers. However, the only thing here is that you will not have all of the different monetization options, the ad network, the boost, and premium subscriptions, and also a bunch of other things like automations and the referral, some of the tools that really help you to grow. You don't have that. So it comes with, like, I would say, a very basic sort of free plan. And the other thing to understand then is basically you have two different plans. So you have the scale and you have the max. The only difference really here is that you have all of these functionalities on scale, but on max, first of all, can remove the Beehiiv branding. You also get a course, but also the main thing I would say is that you can have up to 10 publications. So this is basically really if you want to scale more, whereas with this you have three different, I don't see where it's written, but you have three different publications with the scale plan. In general, the scale plan is $39 per month for 1,000 and max is $99 per month, which honestly is pretty expensive to start out with. That is just for 1,000 subscribers. But in general, what I like to do is check 10,000 subscribers. So when we do 10,000 subscribers, the scale plan is $99 per month, and then the max plan is $200 per month, which honestly is a fairly good pricing. I would say at the scale plan, especially at $99 per month, that is good value. Alright, so now let's talk overall what is the best use case, why you should use certain software based on your specific needs. This is probably the most important part. So for Beehiiv, if you're going to use Beehiiv, I would say it's best for just newsletter growth. If you are okay with monetizing with just sponsored content, because as I mentioned, you can't sell digital products, which is such a pity. So you need to keep that in mind that, okay, the only way you're making money is the ad network and sponsored content. The downside is it lacks e-com functionality and it lacks also some of the advanced automation. So just keep in mind, if those things don't matter for you, then if you just want to grow, because for growing newsletter, Beehiiv is probably one of the best options. But keep in mind, if this is a need for you, the advanced automations and e-com functionality, then Beehiiv is not going to be the best. When it comes to Substack, Substack is interesting because it's free to start, but then you pay 10% fee. So when you actually start making money, it's really expensive. When it comes to features, it's so simplistic and it's really lacking most of the things, most of the monetization options, no automations, customization, basically nothing. The only reason I think why people use Substack is because they see that as, okay, this is free to start out with, there are a couple of growth options with it, and it's just a popular tool. I think that's the only reason. Other than that, I honestly just in general don't recommend it.